What are you looking at? Zhang Baojian, you little lewd embryo. I'm kind enough to take you in. You're going to eat my tofu. How many people are there in this city? There's no hope like you. Jiang Baojian, a young man from a small town, came to Shanghai for the first time. I can't wait to get off the minibus. Looking up at the surrounding tall buildings, because he knew there was a room there. It will belong to him, in order to promote his property. Advertisement with prize betting in newspapers. Zhang Baojian is the winner of the jackpot. The video uses Zhang Baojian to ask for advice from passers-by in a hurry. In a tea house called Beautiful New World. The three actors on the stage sing exactly what Jiang Baojian is anxious at the moment. This opening later there was a Taiwanese movie called Blood Guanyin. Very similar to it, just like ZHI adds a little dreamy color to the film. But Blood Guanyin sings the evil of human nature. Beautiful New World sings the goodness of hope. Crowded on the bus, Jiang Baojian is curious about everything in the big city. Colorful night view of Pudong. He forgot to shut his mouth. Get off at the door of the New World newspaper. It's a pity that working hours have passed. Zhang Baojian has nowhere to go, so he has to complete another item first. The task assigned by my mother to visit my distant relative, aunt and mother whom I haven't seen for many years. By the way, I stayed at her house for one night. I was opening a public telephone booth downstairs. After asking for the address, Jiang Baojian walked into a cramped old building. At the corner of the stairs, a group of people were gathering at the door of a house to call for debts. Look at the house, there is no one. Everyone returns fiercely. I don't know why Jiang Baojian nodded to everyone politely. Knowing that there was no one in the room, Jiang Baojian didn't go up and knock on the door. I can only sit on the stairs and wait. During this period, I saw an old lady who went upstairs. I just think it's my aunt's silly look scared the resident aunt. Listen to the fact that there was no movement outside. The owner of the household finally came out. As a result, Jiang Baojian was also shocked by Gui Payu. The woman seemed to remember something. Oh, Ahua asked you to come. Tell me about you country people to make some money. Everything is done. How much does Ahua give you at one time? Jiang Baojian reacted slowly and didn't understand what was going on. But I also knew it was misunderstood, but I didn't have time to explain. I was interrupted by this anxious woman again. She thought this man was asking her for debts for others. I took out 10 yuan and stuffed it to Baojian. I asked him to go back and said that I didn't find anyone to work. I don't know anything, Ahua. I'm here to find someone. Baojian explains his origin. This bag of local specialties is brought to my aunt's Mama Aju. The woman told him not to look for him. Mao Aju has passed away, and she is Mao Aju's daughter named Jin Fang. Mao Aju is the little cousin of Uncle Zhang Baojian's house. In terms of seniority, Baojian should be called Aunt Jin Fang. The low auntie, when did my aunt die? There has been no news about them at home when they were young. Oh, don't mention her anymore. The little aunt doesn't want to mention the old things again. Just reverse the topic and ask him what he was going to do when he came to Shanghai. Baojian's eyes were tilted to the side of his waist as he spoke. It was obviously a lie and just said that he was here to help the town processing factory contact business. All the things that should be talked about have been finished, but Baojian has no intention of leaving. After drinking a few large cups of tea, I still couldn't help but yawn. He was going to listen to his mother. I have to stay with my aunt for a few days and never thought of any other plan. But it is not convenient for this lonely man and widow. Baojian can only ask the little aunt. Are there any cheaper hotels nearby? You can stay here if you are cheaper. Okay, but shall be ours good. The little aunt and this little beloved talked about ugly things in front of you. Shanghai is a metropolis, and the people here are very practical. No matter what you do, you have to talk about money, although it's a distant house. But after all, we are relatives, I'll be cheaper. Just live for 20 yuan for a day. Baojian looks embarrassed. 20 yuan in 1998 is not a small amount. When the little aunt saw Baojian's appearance, let me talk about how good the facilities here are. Video recorder and microwave oven are all available. If you don't believe it, you can go out and ask. I spent 50 yuan to find such a single room. That's all a fantasy. Baojian agreed after hearing this. Take out a consultation with your hands to protect your pocket. Pay the room fee for living until next Tuesday in one lump sum. It's a single room, but there's not even a serious bed in your purchase. The little ant took out a folding bed from somewhere, preparing to provide a post in the living room. Someone suddenly knocked on the door. The little ant thought she was collecting debt again, so she hurriedly asked Bao Jian to stop talking. It was an acquaintance that opened the door. It turned out to be the grandma from the phone booth opposite. She is so weird. Look at Bao Jian as a strange face. So I'm here to remind Jin Feng in detail. It seems that it is not just a mysterious organization in Beijing. Shanghai also has its own Chowing Yantai. As a result, this grandma is not just a kind-hearted. She asked Jin Feng for the phone bills that were owed again. Gossip began to bring about this little Biaojia's identity. Jin Feng started to be rich when she got rich. Send her yuan to the grandma and send her away. And I went to the restaurant and ordered 2 side dishes and had beer. I spent another 32 yuan. When I came back, I saw Bao Jian. Just wear clothes, shoes, pillows, luggage bags. Lying on the folding bed and waiting for her all night. But after all, I couldn't hold on to sleep. I'm dreaming now. Xiang Baojian put on a suit and sat on the bench. This is the award ceremony arranged by the real estate developers. 2 modern girls are also arranged behind him as a companion. The developer boss invited many media to announce the news. The house in Jiangbaojian is located on the 37th floor. The scenery on both sides of the strait will make you in a beautiful world. May you have a beautiful new life in this beautiful world. The boss asked Bao Jian to come to the office alone. Case for wine and imported cigarettes. I didn't expect to be so polite. It turns out that I am laying the following words. The house you got is a pre-sale house. Of course, now we all know what is a prolonged house. But for the people at that time, this was not a well-known concept. The boss explained to him little by little, that is, you came to get the house. Not yet covered, Bao Jian saw it in the newspaper. The building has been built. Isn't this a deception to the people? The boss pointed at the phone in a fake way. Said, I just communicated with the project manager. It will take almost 2.5 years to wait until the building is completed and delivered. In fact, this is to fool Bao Jian. Use prizes to attract people to promote. But now I feel like I'm losing money, so I want to change the price of the house into cash. Less than 100,000 is considered 100,000. If Bao Jian promises to get the money now. The newspaper says it's 700,000. Yes, the boss continues to fool it. That is the housing price prediction. Who can tell what happened 2.5 years later? The boss asked about Bao Jian's situation. He is the boss of the family. Already at 30. Isn't it because I don't have money to get married? Now that this has the 100,000 yuan, all life problems will be basically solved. When you go home, you can live a happy life. Bao Jian nodded repeatedly and went to sign and get the money as he watched the finance department. The boss was about to untie his tie and breathed a sigh of relief. But unexpectedly, Bao Jian killed another shot. Sorry for such a big deal. I'll discuss with my mom and my dad. On the other end of the phone, Bao Jian's mother told him that he would not come back now. Now the whole town knows that he won the grand prize. Bao Jian has become the living god of wealth in everyone's eyes. The township needs him to donate money when building a primary school in the village. The town government also asks him to donate money when building roads. Relatives and friends have also come to borrow money. Even if you get that 100,000 yuan, it is not enough to disperse. My mother has lent out 20,000 to 30,000 now. After talking about the money, my mother asked Bao Jian if he had found his aunt's mother. I heard that I found it. I was not interested in listening to Bao Jian explain the specific situation. Since you have found a relative, stay in Shanghai for a few more months. Wait until this storm has passed before returning to town. It was originally a good thing to win the jackpot, but it was exactly the sentence in the play. The poor are not rich in the poor now that Bao Jian is at a loss. You can't get a prize, you can't get a home. Since you can only stay, you have to live your life steadily. On the way home from shopping for groceries, Bao Jian noticed a guitar on his back. A man with long hair and sunglasses looks like a 25-year-old man. Although it was just passing by, it left a deep impression on Bao Jian. Seeing Bao Jian come back, the little ant who was talking on the phone with her best friend downstairs Let him come and pay the phone bill. Look, Bao Jian has been gnawing on the pig's trotters all the way. Teach him a lesson immediately and let him take over the style of the country people. But even if you turn your head, you can't stand the temptation of delicious food. I chewed pig's trotters with him. The little ant talked about Jen about the bad things she encountered on this day. Bao Jian is curious about what business the little ant does. The little ant counted with her fingers. Automobile, electrical appliances, food, clothing, toilet lids and sanitary napkins as long as you can see them in the mall. She did it all, but unfortunately, she lost money after doing real estate. I can only start over again. When Bao Jian heard the three words real estate, it seems that a switch has been touched and took out a small book. Ask the tips in real estate. In fact, the little ant is easy to do everything. She didn't understand either, so she said it was too complicated and asked Bao Jian to stop playing tricks. After saying that, I pulled the curtain on the second floor. Take off your clothes and sleep, the little ant murmured behind the curtain. It's not easy to do business. The competition is too fierce. Fortunately, she has another support. Your uncle is coming back from Japan soon. The pressure of life, finally someone can share it. We've all agreed and wait for him to come back. Let's get married. Just held at the revolving restaurant of Xi in Jinjiang Hotel. He also said he would personally watch the extended Cadillac pick me up. Bao Jian said he had sat there. Wasn't he just three forks in a circle? The little ant joked about him and said it was Mercedes-Benz. Cadillac is long refrigerator, colored EV, bar, KTV. There is everything in the car. There is even a swimming pool in the foreign model. Your uncle-in-law is busy working in Japan. Such an outrageous way. Even Bao Jian heard it was fake. Why are you laughing at Bao Jian? My uncle must be very short. During this time in Shanghai, Bao Jian has to find a job to survive. He carefully records job information on the recruitment notice every day. The little ant also carries a large package of goods and promotes sales everywhere. Two little people are in this big city in Shanghai. Bogan has prepared dinner for survival. But the little ant collapsed on the bed with exhaustion. Turn on the TV and there is a full-screen recruitment information. But because of insufficient education, there is no one suitable for him. For the first time in Bao Jian's life, I felt the gap between myself and the city people. This day, Jin Fang's best friend Tao Hong came to find her. I heard that this silly big guy called Jin Fang a little ant. Laughing, Jin Fang explained the relationship between them to her. He is a distant relative of our family. In terms of seniority, my little beauties. This time I came to Shanghai to see my old lady. I brought a lot of gifts, so I had to stay there for 2 days. You know, as a countryman, the richer he is, the safer he feels to live in his relatives' homes. Yes, criminal. I really can't imagine you. This time Ahui is here. I want Jin Fang to accompany her to have a blind date. The other party is a businessman because he went to Ahui's clothing store as a salesperson. I bought clothes a few times and I became familiar with them after a while. Without blinking, the man actually asked her out for dinner this time. Of course, Ahua would not miss such an opportunity. Jin Fang's eyes clearly showed jealousy. I also heard the show-off in my best friend's tone. In the evening, the pair of plastic sisters went to a high-end restaurant for a banquet together. After a while, the man stopped pretending and made small moves under the table. Ahua felt discomfort. Yin Kai-you went to the bathroom to pull Jin Fang to discuss countermeasures. When the man's writing is out, cooperate with him, he became anxious and irritated on his feet. Jin Fang comforts Ahua. Don't feel sorry for losing such a man. Facing debt collectors together, plus the day and night together these days. Bao Jian and the little ant are getting closer and closer. The little ant also has a carefree and cheerful personality. She never treated Bao Jian as an outsider. That night she asked Bao Jian about his relationship. Ask him if he has a partner. Is the partner looking good? Are you going to get married? Bao Jian's face turned red when asked. How good it would be if your uncle was there. When will my uncle-in-law come back? In 2 months. I came back after signing an order. My uncle-in-law was on the phone. Let Jin Fang enjoy her happiness at home and stop running out. Jin Fang thinks she is a lifelong. Always worry about uncertainty about the future. It was a rare pleasure to sign a contract today. She asked Bao Jian how the things he was going to do in Shanghai were going on. Hearing this, Bao Jian could only lie down in his melancholy. The little ant went to the attic and kept thinking about his encounter with a perverted old man. Say, I forgot the curtains yet. Take off your shorts and put on your pajamas. Bao Jian didn't listen at all, but wanted to see his own house that was far away. His eyes were straight and he was confused by his aunt, but he was mistaken for him as a hooligan. Zhang Baojian, you little chromogan ITM, take you in kindly. You're going to eat my tofu. Let you eat tofu. Or do people say you country people do evil deeds? If your uncle knows, you won't break your legs. I didn't mean it. The little ant burst into tears like a boiling kettle. Bao Jian silently handed over the tissue next to him. When the little ant calmed down, she began to feel herself. Just now I was a bit too much to drive Bao Jian, but I complain that Bao Jian is so annoying. If I do this one day, write a letter to your mother and see what she will say to you. What exactly are you doing in Shanghai? No matter how you ask. Bao Jian didn't explain. Maybe he learned his lesson from the phone call with his mother. Maybe it's because of his personality. Bao Jian doesn't want to put an uncertain future. Tell the little ant as a reality. If you don't tell me, you'll move out tomorrow. Not long after, Ahua found a new blind date partner. This time one called Jin Feng to help. The little ant told her to call her next time. She didn't know that Bao Jian had already given her. I made a prepaid 10 yuan. After returning to the house, my aunt found out. Bao Jian left a note on the TV thanks to the little ant on the note. These days I have caused her a lot of trouble. What I want to do is not going well. I wanted to stay for a few more days, but it was really inconvenient. He can only leave temporarily and plan to find a job by himself. He will stay in Shanghai and will come back to see her if he has time. A serious note was written at the end of the note. This tribute left my aunt's house. Bao Jian found a job at the construction site with his luggage on his back. But I was quickly fired because I was always in a daze. The little ant also found it in front of the mall. She was bullied by a child as a doll. The hydrogen balloon in my hand accidentally failed to catch it. Flying away slowly, Ahua's new boyfriend is Xiao Bai. Not only is he rich and handsome, he looks a bit like Richie. Jin Feng heard that he was a stock company. Just wants Xiao Bai to take himself close to him. After leaving the construction site, Bao Jian became a security guard at the karaoke bar. I still know from the guests that today is Dragon Boat Festival. So after get off work, he came to visit the little ant by reading Zhang Ziwen. When I opened the door, I saw this guy from his feet to his head. All of them have changed into new outfits, but the little ant almost didn't recognize them. I thought he was brought to see the rice dumplings from the countryside. Bao Jian said he had never returned. Both of them are very polite to each other, no longer the casualness and joy they used to be. The little ant said she had social engagements tonight. Bao Jian is much more sensible this time. It is said that business is the most important thing, so I won't stay for a long time. The little ant went upstairs to change her clothes. I remembered it was because of this before. Bao Jian just left. She pulled the curtains seriously again. Bao Jian, you had such a bad temper last time. Leave, no one knows the details. I thought it was my Jin Feng's power and I was not here to stay with my relatives. You misunderstood. The two of them go out together. But in fact, the little ant didn't have any social engagements. There is no business to negotiate. She took out her phone book. After rummaging for a long time, I couldn't find someone who could call. There were guests in the private room in the karaoke bar and started to quarrel. Bao Jian followed the manager to deal with it. The manager politely asked them out to argue. The customer's temper is getting bigger and bigger. Bao Jian leans closer and says twice please. These two men just calmed down, but they arrived at the door. But the guests scattered all his anger on Bao Jian's head. Bao Jian was beaten, but he was wronged. But he was fired for this incident. There is no more place for Bao Jian in this big city. He is ready to go home while passing through the underground passage. Bao Jian heard the songs coming from afar. He noticed the singing with his blue eyes. It was the man who had passed by him once. There is a beautiful new world. Tell me to walk slowly. After listening to this song carefully, Bao Jian knew that he had read this kid wrong in the past. It's quite nice to sing. Definitely not at 25. At least it can double the Wu Shi. Bao Jian mentioned that he had a relationship with him. It's so late, there's no one in the underground passage. Why are you still here? Who are you singing the song? Wu Bie is a little cold and doesn't like to pay attention to him, until Bao Jian asked him what cheap hotels are nearby. Stay for one more night and you'll be home tomorrow morning. Wu Bie then spoke, just leave. Wu Bie's words seemed to have opened the gate of Bao Jian's emotion. He vented all the experiences and sadness along the way. Why do you think this is for this house? Isn't it just 1.5 years ago? How many people in this city have no hope like you? Just wait, you will get it one day. Wu Bie's words awakened the dreamer. Are you a man? Bao Jian chose to go against the trend and return to the city that brought him setbacks. For a hope he will wait. For the purpose in his heart, he also wants to fight with life. Bao Jian, who has no way to go, has to return to his aunt again. On the stock exchange, two best friends accompanied Xiao Bie to buy stocks. Because of inside news, Xiao Bie feels that the stocks in his hands will rise next week. He also advised the two to trade stocks, and he could trade. Both of them have suffered losses in the stock market before. Hui acted very rationally this time, but Jin Fang got up again. She had no money, so she invited Bao Jian out to dinner. I want to bring him into the stock rating team. I heard that this stock is very dangerous. Many people committed suicide by jumping off the building. One stock cost 2,000 yuan. Bao Jian said he came to Shanghai. I brought 2,000 on my body and basically spent it. The little aunt played the emotional card and said she took care of him a lot recently. Why are you still having fun with yourself? I heard from Bao Jian that he really has no money. The little aunt was leaving without even buying the order. The strong desire for a better life has dazzled the little aunt's mind. She showed all her mean side. Eat hard, I tell you I'm going to waste my money and invite you to eat. What do you like to eat? Just eat enough. What to eat? What a shit relative. Why don't you eat it? The scene was extremely embarrassing. Bao Jian didn't hold on after all. I handed over all the last little money on my body to my aunt. Bao Jian bought lunch boxes outside the exchange and was cheated of 100 yuan again. But this time I was deceived. Bao Jian came into being. The idea of making lunch boxes is also the little Oni who takes this idea. Not only do I not want to participate, I also don't let Bao Jian do it. Because I feel very shameless. In her eyes, she is the lowest class person in this kind of business. So Bao Jian had to take advantage of the little aunt's departure. Yin used the grandma's kitchen to secretly make rice boxes. I learned from my grandma that my aunt was very energetic when she was young. Never down to earth, it turns out that she is not the biological daughter of her aunt. It's an adopted child since his adoptive parents died. She lived a difficult life and started to tear down the east wall and repair the west wall. A life of living by borrowing money. Bao Jian has prepared lunch boxes and sold along the street. The business was not good at the beginning, but he still carefully reviewed the experience. The little aunt suddenly came home and cried. Bao Jian knew at a glance that it was the stock loss. Don't worry, Bao Jian, my aunt will definitely pay you back. A batch of payment will arrive in 2 days. I'll go bet again, let's do something real. Anyone can pay back the money. Bao Jian's lunchbox business has been in operation for a week. He calculated that he could earn more than 180 yuan in a day. But the little aunt didn't want to listen to this, just hearing Bao Jian renting the grandma's venue. After giving her $20 a day, I complained about the grandma. Bao Jian is good at cooking and treats people with kindness. Buy a box lunch and get an extra fruit. When someone is short of money, he can't afford it. He also considerately invited him to eat a box for free. He is hardworking and willing to work hard and can travel to several places a day. I also received large orders from many companies in the office building. Business is booming. That day Hui came to Jin Fang's house. She also wants to arrange a date for Jin Fang because what Jin Fang said is, boyfriend working in Japan is simply deceiving himself. That man didn't go to Japan at all. Hui had seen him from afar 2 days ago. Today is the little aunt's birthday. Bao Jian has prepared longevity noodles for her. But the little aunt didn't eat because she was going to attend a blind date at night. The birthday arranged for her Bao Jian wants everyone to come to her home to eat. But the little aunt said it was because of him. Not convenient, and eating at home is also very shameful. Maybe it's to see what the little ant's blind date looks like. Bao Jian stopped the taxi and also watched the little ant go to the restaurant. He saw the little ant looking through the glass and put her hand on the shoulder of the man beside her. I mistakenly thought that my blind date was a little boy. Another creditor smashed the door that night. Bao Jian opened the door without listening to the little ant. He asked these debt collectors to shut up. It turned out that he had the confidence to make money. I paid back all the money I owed to my aunt in one go. The little ant wanted to thank him, but Bao Jian waved her hand and refused to let her speak. Because I saw Xiao Bia at that time. Bao Jian recognized him while selling lunchboxes. It turns out that he is just a driver who drives a foreign company bus. Identity car, and tickets are all made up by novices. Bao Jian told the little ant this to the evening. The little ant turned around and told Ahui again. As a result, Ahui's anger that shattered her dream. It was strange to Bao Jian. Bao Jian saw it again on the street. Wu Bia, I was singing alone and also crossing the road to say hello to him. Only then did I finally know that Wu Bia's name is Ale Yang. He enthusiastically pulled Ale Yang home. Auntie, this is my friend. Singer Ale Yang. Bao Jian always remembers it. That day, Ale Yang encouraged him and had already bought a pair of sunglasses. This time I finally got a chance to give it to him. Bao Jian wants to make dinner to entertain Ale Yang. But the little ant thought it was inappropriate and wanted to know the origin of Ale Yang. I heard that I met it in the underground passage and was shocked. She blamed Bao Jian for being too simple. How dare she bring an unknown person home? Back to the living room, the little auntie, just like checking the household registration, she asked for her urge to ask. It made Dale Yang very embarrassed and he could no longer stay. Took up the piano and left Dale Yang. Sorry, Bao Jian is really angry this time. Because he felt that the little ant drove away his only friend in Shanghai. What a shit friend. Do you know who he is? Do you know his background? You don't know what his surname is. I have been in Shanghai for so long. Why are you still fools? I'm not stupid at all. You think I'm stupid? That all Yang, he looks like a free meal. In a fit of anger, Bao Jian said his heart. I think you are the idle food. He exposed the little ant's fantasy boyfriend. It also exposed the big deal that the little ant said. It's just a small business that resells. Although Ale Yang is quite strange, he is more cute than you. The little ant also dislikes Bao Jian as a stinky countryside. He made a profit and sold lunch boxes to himself and embarrassed him. I was so sorry for you. The two of them had a big quarrel, both of which poked the most painful part of each other's hearts. What's wrong with these broken things? This is still at my home. If you have the ability, you leave. This is also my family. Mao Aj was my aunt's mother. Bao Jian, who was swept out of the house, hid in the underground passage. I was treated as a beggar by the child and fed to coins. After the little ant calmed down, she found her conscience and found Bao Jian back again. Ahui tells the little ant message. She is getting married soon. The man is that little white. Ahui finally learned to reflect. Although Xiao Bia lied to her, it was because he was so arrogant. Always fantasizing about finding a big boss, Xiao Bia really likes her. That's why she had to pretend to be what she hoped. If you are like this, your rich woman will blow your dream. Everyone around them has changed and has become more pragmatic. The most vain Nahua can now sit in the back seat of the bicycle safely. Show the brightest smile in this life. People should face reality rather than live in the fantasy future. People should master the present and use their own hands to realize their dreams. The little ant seems to have some understanding too. She really began to cherish the people in front of her. That night she led Bao Jian to climb to the roof. Show him photos of his childhood and let him know his past. After all, who was wedding that day? Some drunk Bao Jian finally got the secret of why he came to Shanghai. Tell the little ant, he asked the driver to park the car. Hold the little ant's hand and run into the heavy rain. I came to Shanghai to find the pile of gold here. Oh, I want to find you, don't pull me, do you know? If this building is built on the 37th floor, I have a house where I can see the most beautiful scenery in Shanghai. Hey, what nonsense do you say? Do you think you are Liu Sheng's son? Go back to Shanghai to inherit the inheritance. You really don't believe me. I believe we will go home first. You must be drunk, God testify if I tell the truth. The rain stops immediately. We have no way of knowing if the developer fulfilled its original promise. Because this is a play, it is also a painting artist in the play. The inspirational story of young people from small towns entering the city to develop. There is a montage scene at the beginning of the film. That was the first night Jiang Baojian came to his aunt's house. He fell asleep with a smile on his luggage pillow. What followed was wearing a suit and tie. Sitting in a Mercedes-Benz, I went to receive the award with a glorious look. Maybe the prize in the newspaper was originally a scam. Perhaps everything that happened later was just a dream Jiang Baojian had this night. Is Jiang Baojian's dream come true? We don't know that Dan is the future in Jiang Baojian's dream. We're already in it. Now I'll look back at this 1999 movie. The mentality is completely different from when I looked at it back then. Of course, it is a kind of full of positive values. It criticized the little ant for being a little arrogant. Praise Jiang Baojian for his diligence and pragmatism. When all the high-rise buildings are built, our lives have indeed become better. But it is gradually disappearing. I am afraid that as long as you work hard, you are willing to do it. As long as you keep your feet on the ground, you can succeed. No longer believed by many people, this kind of movie is really good. It seems to lock in time, although the plot is fictional. But he could draw the thoughts of people in that era. The mainstream values of society are solidified. Let us compare our lives and thoughts today. Everyone may be able to draw a different one from it, but it must be a valuable insight. In the history of tens of thousands of years, I always thought that as long as the productivity was improved, as long as the technology level is improved, as long as the train runs faster and faster, as long as information explodes infinitely, humans can live happier and happier. But facts prove that happiness is always a relativity. As long as there is uneven resource allocation, as long as it cannot break through Penli, who is comparable to others, humans will never be able to obtain true happiness. That beautiful new world is not at this moment. It does not exist in the distant future, but has just been silently hidden in our hearts. Just like Jiang Baojian, is that award real? It doesn't matter whether the pre-sale house can be delivered or not. When he found the way to get along with this world, the house on the 37th floor, standing in front of the window, you can see the Huapingwei River. It's already standing there. When you truly understand the world, understand yourself. That beautiful new world is ready. It will appear for you at any time. Okay? The above is all about this issue. This is Kong Shen Shuo Ying, a channel that can be talked about in all kinds of movies. Creation is not easy to like and encourage us to see you next video.